Hi everybody, Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, and today's contract tip, we are continuing on regarding this crazy, unprecedented market, fast sellers market that we are in. This is March 2021 going into April 2021, and today's tip has to do, this is a tip for you as an agent. So this is my broker tip to all of you agents out there, and you are all independent contractors. So even if you are not hanging your license with Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, please still pay attention to this video. Also, if you are not with Maximum One, please run any ideas or any documents or handouts that you hand out to your public by your own broker and get your own broker's permission and approval. But today's contract tip has to do with disclosures that you as the agent really need to or should consider making to your public, especially to your public buyers that are purchasing properties right now in today's market. The issue is we are having a lot of buyers that in order for their offers to be accepted, they have to be extremely competitive. And so what a lot of buyers are opting to do is a whole variety of strategies. One strategy is love letters, which I've done a long video on that. I'll link all these videos below. So you need to caution your buyers that that potentially could be a fair housing issue. One strategy is buyers going in with 0 days due diligence. One strategy is buyers going in way over list price. One strategy is buyers are going in over appraisal price. One strategy is buyers going in, putting in additional option money. So there are a lot of strategies that buyers are using in this market to actually become a binding contract with the seller amongst all the other competition, all the other competitive offers that these sellers are getting. So given that climate and what's going on right now, there are some disclosures that you as the agent, that you guys really need to have with these buyers. You really need to have these discussions with these buyers. And if you're working with a buyer that is coming from another state, the real estate prices in Georgia, the real estate market in Georgia is amazing prices anyway, relative to a lot of other states. And so one of the issues is a buyer that has sold their house from another state and has cash and is used to the real estate prices in their state. They come here to Georgia and they find a house and they're willing to pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. We've had one contract where a buyer paid $70,000 over list price, and it was cash, so there was no appraisal. And that buyer's comment was that even $70,000 over list price is still a bargain. Well, it might be a bargain in the state from which they came, but it may not be a bargain here in Georgia. Obviously, they got the house, but if that is not that buyer's forever home and they turn around to sell it in a few years, they might be upset with the amount of money that they paid if potentially they cannot get, when they go to sell it, they may not be able to even get the money that they paid for it when they go to sell it. Now, who knows what the market is going to be in the future, but my point for this video is just because a buyer says that house is a bargain, even with lots of money over list price, it's a bargain relative to what? Relative to the state that they just moved from. May not be a bargain in Georgia based on Georgia, our real estate prices, typically what's been going on. So it's those kinds of issues. Or a buyer going in with 0 days due diligence. I encourage every agent. I know you want to make your buyers competitive offer, but at the very least, please at least put in 1 day's due diligence. And the reason is, with the frenzy that's going on, it does become a little bit emotional. And you absolutely want to give your buyers the opportunity to, at least, if they go under contract and get a binding contract, sleep on it for one night and really make sure that that contract is what they want to do. So if you have 0 days due diligence, they are locked in, other than not meeting any other contingencies. But the due diligence where the seller grants the buyer the right to terminate for any or no reason, you might want to just give them at least one night to sleep on it and catch their breath a little bit. Another option is going in with right to request repairs rather than a due diligence period. Done videos on that, so watch all the videos below. Another issue is waiving an appraisal contingency. So, same thing with the prices and the appraisal value. If you waive the appraisal contingency and the property does not appraise for sale price, the buyer is obligated to purchase the property and bring cash for the difference in order to not default on the contract. So anyway, there's just a lot of strategies that buyers are doing, and there are potential ramifications, financial ramifications, legal ramifications, buyer's remorse ramifications, things like that, it would be prudent of you as an agent to have these discussions with your buyers before they are caught up in this frenzy of purchasing a home right now. So a couple of things I want to bring to your attention, and a couple that you are aware of, but stay tuned because there is one at the end I'm going to present to you that is brand new, and I think you guys will really, really enjoy it. So a couple of things I absolutely want to bring to your attention that GAR, the Georgia Association of Realtors, as well as the RE Forms contract package, they have they have many, many, many consumer brochures. So in the GAR contract package, those are all labeled with CB, and there are things, for example, the ABCs of agency, lead-based paint, but there are other issues. Protect yourself when selling a house. Protect yourself when buying real property. What to consider when buying a home in a community with a homeowners association. What to consider when buying a home in a condominium. Protect yourself when buying a home to be constructed. Flood insurance. What you need to know about leasing properties. So there's all sorts of consumer brochures, and then there are additional disclosure statements that are available for you in the GAR contract package. So you can look those up in the GAR table of contents or index. Likewise, in the RE Forms contract package, again, there are a number of disclosure documents. For example, there are home selling, the process, home buying, the process, renting property, the process, transactions involving out-of-state residents. There are a lot of, again, more documents regarding some disclosures to bring to your public's attention when they are buying or selling real estate. So, as a broker, I would encourage you as an agent to get any and all disclosures, consumer brochures into the hands of your buyers and your sellers as well, as far in advance of them actually writing an offer on a property as you can. Give them time to go through those consumer brochures. Give them time to understand the process and ask you questions. I also highly encourage you guys to give your buyers a training copy, a copy of the actual purchase and sale agreement, and write sample across it so that they have time to look at the actual contract before they are obligated to the contract, so that they can ask you any questions and you can answer any questions they may have, and what it means when they actually go binding with the seller, all about the due diligence, right to inspect, default clauses, all the contingencies, what has to be met, time frames, all the information about earnest money, option money, all kinds of option money. And again, we have done a special video on option money, so check out that link below. But again, give them a blank purchase and sale agreement. Make sure you write sample across it so that they cannot take that purchase and sale agreement and use it without you to purchase a property outside of you. Those GAR forms and the RE forms are just for agent and broker use, not for use of the public. You can't just hand your public a blank contract and have them fill it out. But those are a couple of things. Two more items that I believe will help you as an agent. The first item is a document that Maximum One has come up with to send out for all of our agents to use, and it is called Buyer Service Recommendations. And this is a document that you hand to your buyers. Not only do you hand to your buyers, you get your buyers to complete it and sign it to remind them of the choices they made now, so that down the road these things don't become an issue and they don't come back and say, well, my agent never told me about that. For example, I choose to get a Georgia wood infestation clearance letter and bond. Yes or no? I choose to have the property inspected by an independent home inspector of my choice. Yes or no? I choose to get a roof inspected by an independent inspector of my choice, so forth and so on. There is 2 pages worth of questions where the buyer indicates if they chose to do that or chose not to do that. There are some fill in the blanks that you could put in. I choose and understand to go under contract with 0 days due diligence. So there are some blanks that you can fill in. And then right before signature time, it says all parties agree to indemnify and hold agent and brokerage broker agent harmless from and against all claims, injuries, suits, and damages arising out of the party's decision with respect to the above choices. So again, this is a great document to get into the hands of your, lots of reflection, of your buyers, so that down the road, if there are ever any issues, you can remind the buyers that it was their choice of the choices that they made were their choice. There is another document in the GAR contract form that I also highly suggest that you use once a buyer does go under contract. And that document is RE 264, Reminder of Important Dates in the Purchase and Sale Agreement. And again, this is a fabulous document to get into the hands not only of your buyers and your sellers, but this is also a really nice document to share with your co-op agent and for yourself to keep you on track. It references the contract and all the parties involved. It has fill in the blanks for all the contingencies, the amount of earnest money, when it's due, who the holder is, when due diligence period ends, appraisal contingency ends, financing contingency, source of funds, deadlines for documents to the closing attorney, so forth and so on. Again, it is just a really nice document for you guys to have and to especially get into the hands, again, of your public people to remind them of the dates. And that is GAR Form F-264, Reminder of Important Dates in the Purchase and Sale Agreement. And then the last one that I'm really, really excited to share with you guys is something brand new. And I just want to thank closing attorney Amy Davis of Davis & Associates. And I will link her contact information below. Fabulous closing attorney, extremely knowledgeable about the market, about real estate, about the contracts, and does a great job with closings for agents, for buyers, and for sellers. And she has so kindly created a buyer disclosure form for agents to hand out to their buyers in this seller's market. And this disclosure form is like a brochure, just like a consumer brochure. And it does have a place where you can brand it yourself. Thank you so much, Amy Davis. Again, I'm going to link Amy's contact information below. Please contact her with any questions and go close with her. She is a great closing attorney. But let me tell you a little bit about what is on this brochure. It is called disclosures for a buyer in a seller's market. And again, this is something where you can brand to yourself as an agent. And it states, for example, I don't know what's better. I guess that's better. It states, for example, it has, it's a very professional, easy to read, nice looking consumer brochure. And it says, my goal is to help you find the perfect home for your financial situation. But it has all sorts of disclosures that says, purchasing a home in a seller's market can be extremely stressful for home buyers. The current housing market has created unique challenges and risks for those seeking to buy a home. Today's market has become a feeding frenzy of limited homes on market in comparison to the number of potential buyers. We've seen extraordinary number of buyers competing for the same property, driving the purchase price higher than listing. In addition, many sellers are demanding the waiver of one or more common contingencies. This has caused buyers to make costly financial decisions. By setting out the risks associated with these waivers, we hope to minimize any unexpected concerns that may arise during contract negotiations. And then it has more explanation: waiver of appraisal contingency, waiver of inspection and due diligence periods, waiver of the financing contingency and or contingency to sell a current primary residence, waiver of contingencies and breach of contract. So again, this is a fabulous disclosure brochure for you as an agent to get into the hands of your buyers in this market. And again, I cannot thank Amy Davis enough for providing this for us. It is a wonderful tool as a broker that I really love for you guys as agents to help protect you while you are helping buyers through this market. And there are buyers buying homes and there are sellers selling homes. So there are lots of people that need your services. Just want to make sure that everybody is aware of what they are getting into when they enter this market and purchase a home. Thank you guys so much for watching. Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, satisfying your needs with service, innovation, and education.